First Sergeant Andy Shepard.
Thank you. I can't tell you what an honor it is to be here today as we pay honor to our servicemen and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice for all of us. They gave their life in the service of their country. No greater gift to be given to all of us, and it was in fact given to all of us, each and every one of us. And it's very important to each and every one of us that we never forget the debt they paid and what they gave to us. This day started out as Decoration Day in the period following the Civil War. General John A. Logan gave a declaration declaring that we would use this day, May 30th was declared, to represent some 260,000 soldiers that gave their lives while fighting in the Civil War. Well, as time went on, in 1971, Congress, through an act of Congress, declared this a federal holiday to be on the last Monday in May and declared it to be Memorial Day. And it's to be inclusive of all service members in all branches that fought in all wars that were U.S. wars. And so here we are today to pay tribute to those people that gave so much to us and asked so little in return. When we think about soldiers that gave their life for us in combat, we think of words like duty, dedication, courage, loyalty. And I looked up the definition on these, but they just didn't do as much for me as when I reflect back on a movie many of you may have seen called Saving Private Ryan. I don't know how many of you saw it, but I know one thing. Of those of you that saw the movie, I don't know what your favorite part was, but I could bet a month's pay you never forgot the first 20 minutes of that movie. A very powerful and a very accurate movie. For those of you that did not see it, I'd like to take a couple minutes to paint a picture of you of what this movie was trying to depict. You've got soldiers headed to a beachfront in an amphibious carrier. They're packed in there heel to toe and shoulder to shoulder, like sardines in a tin can, as tight as they can get them in there. And as this amphibious carrier gets closer to the beach, the soldiers can hear the rattle of the machine gun fire in the distance. Non-stop barrage of machine gun fire. And the closer they get, the louder the machine gun fire gets. Until the point where just before that steel door drops on that amphibious carrier, the sound of that machine gun fire turns into the sound of bullets bouncing off that tin can that's taking them to the beach, which tells them they're within range of those guns. They know, they've already been briefed, they know what they're stepping out into. They know when that steel door drops down, they're going to be given the order to take that beach. And when that door drops down, they do just that. That's the most important part of the story that I'm telling you right now. They followed their orders. They stormed that beach. They had but one direction to travel. That was into live machine gun fire directed straight at them. They didn't try to turn and run. They didn't stay in the tin can. They followed their orders because that's what soldiers do. Soldiers follow orders. And I'm sure there's still people that say, why would they follow that order? They know death could be imminent. They know they're stepping. Why would they follow that order? Why would they just say, I'm not doing that? They did it because they believed in something bigger than them. They believed in something with all their hearts that meant so much to them that it meant more to them to follow those orders than it did to preserve their own life. They were willing to put life and limb in harm's way so they could follow those orders, because they had a nation back here that believed in them with all their heart. And they too believed in that nation with all their heart. And they were not going to let us down. No matter what it took, they were not going to let us down. Now we could Google courage, loyalty, dedication all day long. I can't find a better definition of courage, loyalty, dedication than what those men did that moment when that Iron Gate dropped down. nowhere to run for cover, nowhere to go but straight into the gunfire, and they did it. And they did it proudly. And not one of them let us down, because they were going to do their job. They were going to carry out their orders, because that's what soldiers do. Now, I'm here to speak today to hopefully help you understand what Memorial Day means to us as retired soldiers, active duty soldiers. This day is not about us. It never has been. It never will be. This day is about the brave men and women that sacrificed their life so we could have what we have today. They did it for several things. They did it for liberty. They did it for freedom. They did it for democracy. And they did it for a people that believed in them with all their heart. And they too believed in that nation with all their heart. They gave all they had to give until they had no more to give. They asked nothing in return. And yet we come here today and we owe them everything. All that we have, we owe to them. They changed the course of history for us. What we owe them is to never forget the sacrifices they made for us. What they did without any hesitation so that we could wake every morning in the umbrella of freedom, liberty, and democracy that we so gratefully enjoy. And many times often take for granted. They paid a price. They bought our freedom, but not with gold, not with silver. They paid with a much more precious commodity, their lives. They gave it all for us so we could have what we have today. So what does this mean to us as soldiers? We are who we are because of them. We train harder because they set the bar up here. We don't quit. We don't give up. We don't accept defeat. We don't stop just because things get rough. We keep going. We keep trying. We keep doing everything we can, because it's our job now to train the future soldiers to do, God help us, as good a job as those soldiers that laid their life down for us. We have to teach them to have loyalty, dedication, everything those soldiers had that walked into that machine gun fire that day with one mission: not to let us down. Preserve democracy, freedom, and liberty for all of us. So things like this flag, national anthem, what a beautiful job. Let's give them a hand again. What a beautiful job they did. They mean something to us. For those that have never served, you may not realize just what it means to us. We put this uniform on, it's not just a garment. We wear it honorably because the people that trained us believed in something deeply with all their heart. And they believed in something deeply because our fallen soldiers taught them. They showed them the code. They lived by a code, they trained by a code, and it was that same code they died by. So that we can have everything we have. And we'll never forget it. They molded and shaped the soldiers we are today. I'm very privileged and honored today to have two soldiers here with me that were with me almost my entire career. Retired colonel that was a captain at the time I came in, Colonel Don Mattingly, and retired Command Sergeant Major Jerry Blake. And the reason I bring them in, they made me the soldier I am today. They learned from the soldiers that gave their lives to show us what it was all about. That you don't tell somebody what to do, you show them. You don't tell them how to wear the uniform, you show them. You teach them that when you wear this uniform, you're representing every soldier that died for us. When we wear these medals that we earned, we don't just wear them for us. We earned them because they gave us the incentive. They showed us how to soldier. They taught it what it was all about. Every soldier that gave their life for this country earned these medals more than I ever will. But sadly enough, they never got to come back home and stand to formation and have their commander proudly call their name as they step forward and pin that medal on for their fellow soldiers to see, for their families to see. They never got that opportunity. So these medals mean much more to us than just a decoration on our uniform. They represent what every soldier that paid the price for this country gave us the opportunity to wear for them, to show them we will never forget what they did for us, to tell them, these are your medals. These are our medals. You taught us how to earn them. You taught us why to earn them. I am who I am because of the men that trained me. They are who they are because of the people that gave us something to believe in with all our hearts. They united a country. Back in the times of World War II, the country came together like it had never been together before in its existence. When they did it because everybody in this great nation believed in those soldiers. And every one of those soldiers believed in this great nation with all their heart. It was a partnership. I'm sure many of you, almost probably all of us, have heard the term, it takes a village to raise a child. We've all heard that. Well, I'll go one step further. It takes a nation to train a soldier. Training a soldier is not an easy task. You can't give up. No matter how frustrated you get, no matter how tired you get of their sarcasm or their non-willingness to follow orders, you don't give up. Because our fallen soldiers never gave up. They never stopped. They never quit till the last breath of air was taken from them. They gave it all. So that's what we do. We give it all. And the best we can hope for in our career is to train the soldiers of our future why we did it and what they did for us and what we can never in our life forget. So we come here today because we all have an obligation as a nation, as retired military, as citizens of this great nation, to support our soldiers. I mean, we take Memorial Day to support our troops, and it's a wonderful, wonderful way to support them because we don't ever want them to know that we don't want them to think for 1 minute we forgot what they sacrificed for us. They gave it all for us. We owe it all to them. So we come here today to exemplify that partnership, that it takes a nation to train a soldier, to support a soldier, to tell a soldier when they return home, thank you, we love you, we're so glad to have you home. Because not all our soldiers got that welcome, sadly enough. And what makes them the best soldier of all is even though they had dispersions cast at them, and they weren't treated very nicely after they served their country and many of their fellow soldiers died for it, they were the first ones in line when I came back from the Gulf. They opened a big airplane hangar up, filled with people from this town. They'd come there on their lunch hour. They'd come there after work. They'd come there all times of day and night to welcome the soldiers back from the Gulf. It's all they wanted to do. And at the head of every line were the Vietnam veterans. They didn't just shake our hand. They walked up and put their arms around us. They said, I love you. I'm so glad you're back, and thank you for what you did. They didn't get that. And I asked one of them. They had a big beer truck in the back. That's the prettiest colored truck I ever saw in my life. So I said to this Vietnam veteran, let me buy you a beer. I knew it was free. So we went and we got a cup of beer, and I said, I don't mean any disrespect, but you're the first one, the head of the line. You didn't just shake my hand, you hugged me. And nobody did that for you. And he said, we'll never forget what that felt like. And we will never let another soldier feel that way in our life. Now that's courage, that's dedication, to love your fellow soldier in your country even when part of your country forgot to love them. That's dedication, and they did it because they believed in something with all their heart. Somebody died for them to believe in something with all their heart. They could put their animosities to the side and love a nation so greatly that they put aside how they felt about when they returned. And all they wanted to do was welcome home those soldiers that served in combat. No better way can we honor these fallen soldiers that are here today than to stand by our soldiers when they come back. They wouldn't have it any other way. Many of the soldiers that died in the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korean, Vietnam, Persian Gulf, died protecting their fellow soldiers. Their soldiers were everything to them. Even more important than that weapon was your fellow soldier. And many of them gave their life to protect their soldier. So no better way could we honor them than to honor our soldiers and never show any of them that they're forgotten. So we come here today to thank them. Thank them for all that they did. Thank them for their courage, their dedication, their loyalty, their patriotism, But more than anything in this world, we come here to thank them for giving us something to believe in when we need it more than anything in this world. God bless, and thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Shepard. That's a great speech. At this time, we're going to have the Oldham Community Band will play a music medley of the different branches of the armed service. As your branch is played, feel free to stand up and you can sing along also.